Welcome and greetings. Had you known me before, I salute you. My name is Klex, and this video symbolizes the feedback of a video game tournament I attended, but that's the official part. I will even first tell what I chose to be said and why. By the way, all the YouTube annotations you see, it's all French subtitles, so feel free to get rid of them for any reason. I know I'll be making some pronunciation. I need to convey a message of how I feel, a description of the recent course of events and what it emphasizes to me. For this, although such a feedback should have been a shortly released text message, it took no less than a month to sum up my personal impression and its value. Okay, so I'm supposed to be gargarizing for like 10 lines of text saying what to say. That sums it up, right? But I managed to make this video, and it's called My Genesis. Check this out. I have always stayed in France for school or studies, although I am used to traveling sometimes. I discovered Smash as a party game and played it as such for a substantial amount of time. The character I was allowed to play was Ganondorf, called Ganon for the sake of convenience. And even though the story behind him was long, I just happened to play him because of how cool looking he was. After that, some can know the story. You're playing with your friends, you win, you think you're awesome. You get into a tournament and you lose hands down. Whether you continue playing it or not depends on how stubborn, clueless and naive you are. I was. All three of them. And I decided to give melee competition a try again, 1 year after my first tournament. For starters, I kept thinking that my losing was due to a difference of experience and that sooner or later, without any specific effort, I would come out as the number one. I played for the purpose of winning, but I was on the losing edge. So yeah, I was like a total ass, but there's a time when you're being more acceptant to the facts. The character I was using was disadvantaged, and although it took me 2 years to understand it, I finally did it. Well, I even thought I wasn't made for such competition because I had too much to learn, but things were different. So it was my first close encounter with a community. These people I met, I gotta be honest, they know what to do in the game and in real life, most of them. I need to be thankful to the Melee French group for bringing me so much. I then got the title of Best Ganondorf in Europe, although Ganon players in Europe were disappearing or going for another character. But theory coming over practice, I eventually knew a lot of things in the necessity of being changed. Amongst all of them, I wasn't knowing what exactly was the problem, but I was definitely making a step in the right direction. It was after that I decided to go elsewhere for tournaments. Now, I do this because it's fun, but not only that, it represents a lot to me. It's like the part where I actually get to know me better, where I'm testing myself, where I'm having fun, when I'm having a good time. So yeah, turned out an American tournament was underway. It was called Genesis and had the reputation of being the future biggest Smash tournament ever. The first reaction I had when I heard such a tournament was going, I wanted to go for it right away. The knowledge we had of the American community was slim. All I knew was the kick-ass commentary on the YouTube videos by Homemade Waffles and Phil. Problem was, we had to wait for so long, imagination messes it all up. Discussion was going on until people made us want Genesis to happen in the following 10 minutes, when we had to expect it for 3 months. Because something happened. Silly shit talking coming between the European Smash community and the American one. The good we endeavored to watch was a meeting between Europe's 10 top players and America's, but nothing gets simple, I'll give you that. In a nutshell, Europe wanted their number one to win. America wanted Europe to understand they were no good by seeing Armada beating the dust. His result was supposed to settle about every outside opinion of Europe because the rest of the European top 10 was missing. This is moving to say, but Armada, I knew him a little bit, and from what I heard of him, I was respecting him a lot. He inspired me in many ways. And so many people had downgraded him to an average player. I thought nobody could handle such rudeness. For that, not only did I not think he would have done honorable results, I thought he wouldn't have enjoyed the tournament at all, and that he didn't belong to Genesis whatsoever. I wanted to give the American people an optimistic outlook of Europe. I wanted to do better result than in Europe, to exaggerate a little bit my low place, my low ranking in France, which relies on pride and imagination, so no, I feel bad about it. Not only that, I wanted to be the coolest looking ever. Against my will, I rushed the trip to play, talk, and satisfy my curiosity in spite of my need to sleep and have a regular life rhythm. Before I realized it, 7 days had passed since my arrival in California. I was having a good time, but problems were appearing. Right before that, let me give the reasons of my in-game tag. There's 4 letters you can put in front of characters. It's called the tag. I chose to put FRA, which stands for France, because the idea of sleeping less and less during an experience that you're supposed to enjoy, it was new to me and almost disturbing. I was anxious to my enjoying the rest of the journey. Then I felt I wasn't ready at all for this, but giving it the reasons is almost like giving a technical explanation of the game, but I'll get myself. First of all, I landed in America knowing lots of things were missing. I was barely practicing in my room, and all the time I had to practice the game, I was scarcely taking my time to check about techniques and counter techniques, which was making me a very fragile player, intuition built only. Well, not exactly, but actually in this game it's not that of a problem anyway, as long as you gather experience, but still. Second and last, the US version of this game was different from the European one, slightly different, but allowed one character, by its name Sheik, to have many more possibilities against my character. For example, with a very orthodox approach, Sheik can put Ganon in a situation in which the latter is forced to be KO, whereas in the European version you can escape out of it fine. My primary thought when I saw this was it was impossible to win against the Sheik player in America, and how unprepared I was for such a tournament. All this used to compensate with the less well, people. Never did it go through my mind that Housers, Smashers, tournament organizers, or even bypasses would have been this nice to us. And yes, I expected nice, but now I got Genesis nice. I would like to thank and compliment many people I met so much. Well, it's ironically the reason I won't be shouting at to you, especially whoever you are watching this. If I saw you back there, chances are I remember you. Thank you, and hope that we'll meet again.